views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are the content creator's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Essex County College. The material and information presented here is for entertainment and informative purposes only. It should not be considered as professional advice or a substitute for seeking professional guidance.
Stay in your lane. What we said?
Stay
in your lane. What we said?
Stay.
Ready, set, goes. Ready, set, goes. Ready, set, goes. Ready, set, goes. Stay in your lane. Yes. What you doing over there? Come back over. Welcome to episode 13. You already know it's your girl Samanta. Yes, and today we have an amazing interview. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys is doing amazing. It has been a wonderful day today. Oh my God, I'm feeling irie. But guys, I have class later. It's midterm. But I hope you guys is getting those midterms done for everyone that's in college. You understand we have to get those grades up. And I hope you guys went on Spotify to check out the Stay in Your Lane podcast for our last episode. That is Irie. And also follow us on YouTube at Essex County College and search for Stay in Your Lane. And you can definitely check out some of the personal podcasts and interviews where we actually others is bringing their story to light and sharing their testimony and sharing some emotional advice. So with no over ado, guys, let's go. We have a very amazing young man in the studio with us today. Hi, V. How you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you for the warm welcome.
So I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Ivy. I live in East Orange, and I'm a student at Essex County College studying English.
Ooh, English. I'm trying to get my English right. You know, I'm from Jamaica. We speak Patois, broken English. So any tips?
My best tip for you would be to read. Just read as much as possible and get used to the rules from reading books.
We gotta read, guys. That's how you learn. That's what they always say. If you want to learn English, you gotta read.
One book every week.
One book every week with 10 pages?
10? Oh, no, not 10 pages. Pick up a novel, baby.
A novel?
Yes.
Okay. I'm getting in my reading. I'm not gonna lie. I am getting in my reading. I have a book. A book is here with me too.
What's it called?
It's called The Bible in 52 Weeks. Here long. Yes, you gotta read
Religion.
it. And then you gotta write. But no, I have a next one that said Owning Your Everyday.
Okay.
I have it here with me. No, it's not in here.
What is it? A self-help book?
It's a self-help book. Yeah, it's
Okay.
she tell her story. I forgot the author name. I don't want to butcher it or anything. It's very insightful, very inspirational, and I actually love it. I'm like almost in the middle of it, so I haven't been on it in a few weeks because I've been focusing on my Bible studies and everything, getting closer to God. It's 2 more months left back in the year, and I feel like I need to get a lot of things back, realign myself. As I said, I'm in my silent era. That's so I get in tune to myself and focus on my goals and things that I need to do and block out everything else. Block out the noise and focus on my lane. So how do you define stay in your lane?
I define staying in your lane as recognizing points in your life where you might be overextending yourself or doing more than is necessary. Recognizing those elements in your life and learning how to pull back from that in a very healthy way.
Okay. And how do you apply that to your life?
Well, you just told me that you're into Bible study and stuff, so I guess we can dip into that topic. I recently had a discussion with my little brother. His name is Lamont. And during that discussion, I had a realization that I need to stay in my lane.
Yes.
So basically, I'm not a very religious person. My brother is very religious. So anytime that I get any piece of evidence, be it a YouTube video or an article online that's questioning the existence of, these, God, Jesus, these religious deities, I always shared with him, and then we get into an argument.
Oh.
And during our latest argument, I realized that even if I don't share the same beliefs that he does,
Yes.
it's important to have a belief to begin with, to have something to believe in. Even if that belief isn't real, or if it's real, whatever, it's important to have that to be able to give your stress to something. So me personally, this might sound contradictory, but I do believe in Jesus and God.
Okay.
Even though in the back of my mind, I don't really think that they exist. I
Yeah.
believe in them because I know that it is a helpful tool to help me get through life.
Yes, and the Bible, if you read the Bible, he will help you. That's one step of understanding it, because the Bible is full of gossip. It's full of so much thing. The Bible will read you down as a same as a person. You say you get in a debate with your brother, and you guys is going back and forth, with your differences and your belief and every single thing like that. Whatever you have to get, whatever question you have and stuff, it's right there in the Bible. And I was just in your shoes and thinking, I'm from a Christian home. I'm Christian. So I'm never baptized or anything, but I believe in God. I believe that there's a creator, and I believe in the man above. And I believe in that because he threw me a lifeline. I could have died in a 5-car accident, and here I am to share my testimony. Here I am with this amazing podcast, Journey Lane, where was able to create a platform of a safe place and talking about my struggles and what I went through and bringing others on. So there's a way of he will help you to see the way. But again, I don't think religion or anything like that is something that you should push on others. You should allow others their comfortability in finding a way how to educate themselves, because I believe people doesn't learn when you kind of push your belief onto them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's more of allowing a person, whether they're going to do it in a fast way or a slow way. But I would say start with the Bible, and that's the way to go. But what brought you to school?
What brought me to school? So I actually started school when I was 18, and I started majoring in journalism.
Wow.
I really liked writing, and my grandma kind of convinced me, do something with writing, do journalism. So I said, okay. I tried journalism, and I didn't really like the classes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I didn't put as much effort as I could into a lot of my classes, and I ended up failing and getting into academic probation when I was 18.
Wow.
After that, I kind of dropped out, kind of took a break. I jumped from job to job for about 4 years.
Okay.
And I finally returned when I was 22, when I had matured enough to decide the direction I want to go with my life.
Okay, so you did some tribbles and tries. You went out there in the world to actually develop some skills and the mental capacity to actually make a decision that is something that you're gonna love and wanting to do.
Well, it was really more about exploring myself, recognizing the aspects of myself and how I want to go out into the world with those aspects. So I've always loved the English language. When I was in second grade, I was reading at a 10th grade level. I've always been like some sort of English prodigy. I love reading, writing. I love grammar rules. I love everything about the English language. At first, I didn't know what to do with that. So I thought journalism, but journalism is a very competitive field. You have to investigate. It's just a lot of work. Oh. So then I realized over time, I really like teaching too. So maybe I could take this thing that I love and I could simplify it and teach it to other people who struggle with that.
Look at that. Finding your lane. That's what I'm talking about. No, we don't need to lie. We need to clap. Okay, that's better. There we go. That's better. He's finding his lane. He was stuck in a little traffic over there, but now he swerved back in something that is purpose and finding your purpose and your ground. So now you're studying English, correct?
Yes.
And you said your dream is to become a teacher? Maybe you never know.
A teacher, a professor, anything where I can, give what I love to other people and teach them.
Well, you may, sometimes our destiny, God knows our destiny. That's what I believe, but to each its own. But you start in journalism. You're learning English. You say you love writing and reading. You never know what the future can hold. That you end up writing for these what you call the people the ones that do the journalism, the one that's on news and do the research and everything.
That's newspapers.
Newspaper. You never know. You may be the writer, screenwriter behind the scene, because that's included in that.
Right.
Instead of being the one that maybe in the front of the camera that's giving the news and everything like that.
Who knows? Maybe I'll work up the courage to start a book one day, but I'm just so damn lazy.
We have to get out of that laziness, okay? So let me ask you. So now that you're in college and everything, you mentioned, did you grow up in New Jersey?
I did grow up in New Jersey.
In East Orange?
Not in East Orange. I was born and raised in Patterson.
Okay, big up to Patterson. That's the first city I lived in.
P-Town.
When I came here.
Fetty Wap is from Patterson.
Yes.
A famous football player named Ted Cruz is from Patterson.
Yes.
And there's even a movie about Patterson that was filmed in Patterson.
Oh, I don't know much about it. So, who is Ivy? Share when you were growing up, how was it like?
Oh my gosh, that's such a loaded question.
Okay.
I was such a troublemaker as a kid. It's really awkward to talk about. So I struggled with things that I didn't even understand about myself until I became an adult.
Okay.
I went undiagnosed with ADHD for a long part of my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that a lot of things that I struggle with came from that.
Okay.
And you know how the Black community is when
Yes.
it comes to mental health. They don't want to explore that. They don't want to investigate it. Even to this day, I started medicating for ADHD, and my mom was like, "Oh, don't take that. It's going to turn you into a zombie." How will I know if I don't try?
That's the stigma, and that's the thing is where I said that's why a lot of our Black men and women kind of shun away, and especially when they go through things, they kind of suppress their emotions and hold it in sometime because of the judgmental of others. And it's always the people that are closest to us are the one that always judge us first, and it makes us scared to even open up to others outside because we're believing, if I'm battling with something, I want to be able to have a support system. And the first person sometime that we go to, our parents, maybe a close friend, a close family relative or something that we're close to, and trying to search for that advice. But then they turn their back on us and make it seem like what's happening to us, we're considered crazy. So in Jamaica too, that's how they look at it. A person like, for example, with your you have ADHD, right?
Yes.
They will look at somebody as that and say that they need to go to the asylum, that they're they're mad and they're crazy. So they don't believe in mental health. They don't believe that that's a thing. Depression, anxiety, they don't believe in any of those. They think that you're crazy. So they never create a platform or even a support system for that. So you said that when did you actually realize that you had ADHD?
So I think I realized sometime in high school after I started like researching it and reflecting on the symptoms that I was starting to manifest, such as like easily being distracted, having trouble with energy levels, being extremely forgetful. But I didn't actually go and get that diagnosis until just a few months ago, actually, in April.
Oh, wow. So during high school, what was your years like?
What was my years like?
Yeah, growing up, like in high school, your years. You go through different years in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started off very successful. I was involved in a lot of clubs and whatnot. I ran into a few hiccups because I had moved to Passaic at that point. So I was in Patterson for 13 years of my life, and then 14, new city, new high school. It was very intimidating. So I ended up feeling very, I guess, picked on by a lot of people. I felt like I was being bullied.
Wow.
I had such a victim mentality.
Yeah.
So whenever, people would joke around with me, I got very defensive about that. So I struggled my freshman year with being bullied.
Yeah. So where did you think you developed that victim mentality from? Was it from your childhood?
I think so. I think I was a very sensitive child, so I was used to being coddled, to crying and somebody coming to my rescue. So I got into the habit of feeling like, oh, this person is bothering me. I need somebody to come rescue me.
And who would be the rescuer at a time when you were like that?
Teachers.
Yeah.
That's why I want to become a teacher, because I admire them so much. They were my pillar. They were my rock in my childhood.
Wow, your safe place. So how is it at home? Are you do you have any siblings?
Yeah, actually, I have one brother who's 3 years older than me. We feuded a lot because he didn't understand me. I didn't understand myself, and I was always doing things that was like stressing our relationship.
Okay, but you were just trying to figure it yourself.
Yes, it took me a long time to do that, but we love each other now. I love my brother.
That's good. Look at that. So it's 3 brothers of you?
I have one older brother. He's 3 years older than me. I have 2 older brothers. The other one has a different mom, so he never really lived with us.
Okay.
He's 2 years older than me.
Half brother, okay.
And then I have 2 younger brothers. One is 19 and the other one is 13 right now. And then I have one sister. She's 16.
Okay, you have some little teenager. They're going through the teenager cycle.
Yes.
Are they spicy?
Definitely. Oh, I clashed with the 13-year-old
Yes.
so much because he's at that stage in life where he's like just super annoying.
Wow.
And I know I was like that at that age too, so I try to be understanding.
Wow. So let me ask you, so little Ivy, maybe at 13 years old, how was the relationship with you and your mom?
My relationship with my mom.
Yes.
So I was very much a troublemaker when I was a kid. They always say that, habits that children have, it comes from somewhere.
Yes.
that they're lacking in their life. Maybe it was because I had an absent father, but basically I was a kleptomaniac when I was a kid.
What's that?
So basically it's
elaborate.
someone who loves to touch things that don't belong to them.
Oh, wow. Oops,
Yeah.
oops.
Who you telling?
Don't be touching nothing that doesn't belong to you guys.
Right. And it would be things that I didn't even want, like, or need, but every time we went out somewhere, mostly places that had like offices and stuff, I would sneak in and take pencils, staplers, like just random stuff.
You were stealing?
Child.
Oops.
Anywhere that there was to be some stealing done, I stole. And I got into a lot of trouble, and that really strained my relationship with my mom because it was constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think, where did you develop that from? Did you understand why you were doing that?
To this day, I still don't understand. I know that it started when I was 10. I started stealing from the local CVS that was around the corner from my house. That's as far as I can remember where it really started. And I never really understood why I had the inclination to do that. And I never got over it until around 17, 18.
Do you think that caused from maybe like the not having the presence of a dad that could help you to?
Definitely, I think so. I think the presence of a father within a family is so important for developing myself as a man, my identity. I didn't have an outlet. I didn't have anyone to go to talk to because my mom, she's a very hardworking single mom, and she was always busy. And when she wasn't busy and she was disciplining us, so I kind of resented her a little, even though she was, she always has my back. I love my mom, but I resent her as a kid, and it was hard.
And it's so funny you say that. I think one of that word resentment is something that I think my last two-potter that I had on here, my last 2 guests. Sometimes I think as kids, because their moms is out there working so hard to make a better life for us, they feel that they're doing the right thing, right? That they're showing up because to them they're providing. They're giving you a roof over your head. They're giving you clothes. They're giving you food and everything. Not realizing that the more nurturing that you need is more of that loving and maybe caring. Am I right on that part?
Yeah.
Of that more of that attention because they're so busy. And I did have that also. I had that experience before I went to therapy this year and against my mom, because resentment is a very, very deep thing, and it can make us kind of not be fruitful with ourselves also because of that childhood thing that we still hold on to with our parents. And even if you're around them too, it is still there. So it's something that you within yourself have to just maybe just reach that realization of understanding that mom was trying and everything. Maybe she didn't know better. Maybe she thought how she was providing, that's her way of showing love, not realizing that you really need this more tender, attentive care that means more than the materialistic things. But as a mother, that's the instinct that's in your mind to just provide. I need to work because I have to put a roof over my head. I got to pay bills. I got to pay that. And then you mentioned that you didn't have a father figure also in your life. I didn't have one in my life either. It was just my mom and everything. But those are the things that they have to go through, and they feel like they're providing for us. So I think, do you still hold that resentment?
No, I don't hold that resentment anymore.
Did you, how did you get over it?
I think I kind of just grew out of it because at a certain point I stopped resenting her and I started to resent myself because I realized that a lot of the problems that I had with her were really things that I was doing to put a strain on our relationship.
Yeah.
Like the kleptomania. I also I had a really bad attitude as a kid, and I would, I wouldn't yell at her. My mom would smack me up, but I just had a very smart mouth as a kid, and I guess I was just lashing out because I was frustrated with myself.
Oh, wow. So now you went and did some self-reflection.
Yes.
That's how you put it. Okay. So what strategies help you to maintain your unique voice?
My unique voice. So what I do to maintain my unique voice is I make sure that I am staying authentic to myself. And I do this by actually considering the voice of other people, like genuinely considering it, not just shutting them down because what I think is right, really considering it and then getting my earnest mindset or my earnest feedback from the thing that the other person is saying.
Okay, that's very good. So let me ask you, do you have any personal, maybe you can help me to pronounce this word, Mr. English. It's a word I know. So I'm not going to just use the surface. But do you have any personal anecdotes?
Oh, anecdotes,
Yes, like any testimony that you want to share, that any obstacles that you went through?
So
trauma, that's how I put it.
I don't know if I'd call it trauma, but it's something I struggled with as a kid, and I still struggle with a little bit now, but I'm getting more comfortable with it. So, as you know, I am bisexual. When I was a kid, it was very confusing because I had known since I was like 7 that I liked boys. And I thought because I liked boys that, oh, he's gay, there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. And I didn't realize that just because I liked boys doesn't mean I wasn't allowed to like girls either.
Yeah.
So growing up and maturing, going through puberty and stuff was me realizing, wait a minute, I have love to give to everyone. I love both sides of the spectrum. So it took me a long time to develop that part of myself that has an attraction to the woman because I had started off liking boys.
Okay.
And it took me a long time to come out about it and feel comfortable about, hey, I'm bisexual and that's okay.
When did you become comfortable in that body of owning and being confident?
Honestly, I didn't really start owning it until I moved to East Orange.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
That was May of 2023.
Wow, so you're talking about a year ago.
Yeah, that's when I really started to identify as bisexual and really started to tell people that would soon become my friends, hey, just so you know, I'm bisexual.
Okay, but do you feel like it's something that you have to like advertise or even like let friends know?
Well, it depends sometimes. It depends on who I'm with.
Okay.
Because, boys, they love to talk about girls. And I can talk about girls with boys.
Yes.
But if I'm walking on the street with some guy friends and I see another guy that's attractive, I'm like, damn, like he looks good. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be comfortable with my sexuality because I'm learning to be comfortable with my sexuality.
You're
and
learning. Okay.
I can't handle judgment.
I hate, that's the number one thing that I hate. I hate to be judged, and that's what make me lose a lot of friends, like in the past year, because I don't think God is the only person that can judge us. Do not judge no one, because at the end of the day, in judgment day, we all have to answer to our own sins, as what everyone quote different things as. And there is a lot of sin that we all committed, and none is greater than none. The sin is a sin of that, and that's about it. But now I understand what you're saying. You do that based on, because you do have some boys where they don't want to be friends with other boys that they think like boys too, because they look at it. In my country, they call that Batiman. No, for real. In Antigua that I used to live, they call that anti-man. You understand? So coming to the United States showed me a lot of how accepting and everything like they are to the LGBT community, which is a very big thing. You understand? Like, it's very protected and everything. But you do have men like that. So let me ask you, did you have any issue while you're battling your sexuality and trying to figure out yourself? Was it hard for you to showcase that with your family? Did you have any issue?
I'm actually not completely out with my family.
Okay.
So there was a moment where I think I was about 15 or 16, and I had got into some trouble with the courts.
Wow.
Yeah. And they had ordered that I get some sort of counseling or therapy. So I would have a therapist come to our house and visit us and you know, talk to me and talk to my mom about how I'm feeling, what I'm going through.
Yes.
And there was one point when my mom had basically brought up to the therapist, I think he might be lashing out because he's attracted to boys and he doesn't know how to tell me. So she basically put me on the spot in the middle of a therapist session, like, hey, do you like boys? And before she did that, she went on this whole tangent about, oh, well, I will always love him, but I don't think I can accept that because I believe that God doesn't like people who like boys. That's wrong in the Bible. Mm-hmm. So she used that to preface the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there like, after you said all that, you want me to come out in front of you and my therapist now? That's not right.
So she gave you some positive negative. So she gave you some negative, then she gave you some positive love.
So I feel like my mom, I think every mom knows, every mother knows. So
I feel so too. I feel like your mom is always, that's your mom, you know? I feel like they always know. And sometimes, as what you said, she said, she'll always love you, but she may never accept that. I think they just say that to say that, you understand? But I feel like all parents will accept, but so never forced. I
did feel comfortable coming out to two of my siblings. One of my siblings, the 16-year-old girl, she's actually mostly lesbian, but kind of bisexual. Okay. So she was the first person I really felt comfortable coming out about because she really owns it. Okay. And I think that's because it might be easier for girls.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, she's in lesbian relationships, and she's like, look, I am the person I am. You guys are going to love and accept me. And my mom has gotten so used to it that she doesn't even complain about it anymore, and I admire her for that. So she's the first person I told, and then I kind of like threw it in there with the conversation with my 19-year-old brother, like, hey, I'm bisexual. So.
Do you think when you finally like let it out and let it be known, especially with your mom, you will be freer than a bird? You'll be much more free? I
think so. I think when I tell everyone in my family, uncles, sisters, cousins, grandparents, that I'll just be able to be me without feeling secretive or like I'm hiding some part of myself.
Yeah, because that's a part of your identity, right? And sometimes when we shun away a part of our identity in the closet, even though our family already know, some of them may just waiting for you to find that comfort and that confidence in stepping out in yourself. But then a part of yourself is feeling like you may get rejected in certain way and you don't want to hurt anyone in certain way. But by doing that, you're actually hurting yourself in the process. And I think, I hope as the months go by, 2025 comes around, I hope if not by the end of the year, by 2025, you'll find that comfort and that courage in like stepping out and letting them know, because if mom has a clue, I'm very sure that everybody else in the family has a clue. And yes, they may be mad at first and upset, but they love you and care about you and they want to see you happy and everything. They will definitely come around, because at the end of the day, you got to be happy and true to you so you can feel free and live within yourself. You understand? Like, not live for somebody else. Because when you start living for someone else, that makes you feel unhappy within and feel like you're putting on just a show sometime because you're not being your authentic self, and you know that deep within. And that's that hurdles that, you know, once you cross that, you're going to feel very free. But that depends on you. You have the power of when you want to make that decision. And when you make that decision is when you're going to free yourself.
Oh, can we get an applause for that?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What a speech.
No, because I went through the same thing with my mom, and it was not good, but now things are better. And then with my family, so I totally understand that. So what are some of the common distractions that you may face? Do you face any
Distractions?
Yes.
But
especially now that you're in school.
I'm the poster boy of ADHD.
Ooh.
Distractions. Oh my God. I could be distracted by a bird flying in the sky.
Really?
Yeah. So basically the thing with ADHD, with a lot of people who have ADHD, is you know what you're supposed to do. And that's the most frustrating part. Like, I know I'm supposed to be home doing homework, and I plan to do that homework, but then I think, you know what, I'm going to do this other thing real quick, and I'm just going to get it out the way real quick, and then I can do my homework. But then that other thing ends up taking so much time that we end up forgetting that we have homework or that we have other responsibilities, and we just never get it done.
Like, we were supposed to have this interview sit down for long, and he been forgetting, but thank God you remember.
Yes.
So thank you for that. So with living with ADHD, right? So how do you actually continue learning and growing within your new lane that you're in right now in studying English and wanting to be a professor?
It's definitely a struggle, but one thing that I learned is that it has to be something that I'm passionate about. So when I first returned back to school in 2022, I returned as a technology major, actually, because my mom found out that I wanted to be an English teacher. She's like, oh, why do you want to go do that? Technology is the future, has job security. And I let my mom talk me into it. I figured if I'm really disciplined as a person, if I really pay attention to those classes, even though I don't like computers, I can learn something and just get through it.
Yeah.
But it turns out that's not the case. You have to be passionate about it. I was sitting in my classes, and I'm just like, I can't even retain this information because I don't like it.
You're not passionate about it. And that's one of the things, it's so funny that I love that you said that. That's one of the things too why I have this podcast, you know, bringing on other students, because many students come to go to college because of their parents. Their parents said, oh, go study this, go do that. And you're doing it for them and not for themselves, you understand? And you're not passionate about this thing. It's like, why don't you do something that you're passionate about? I remember before I come to college, I had friends that tell me like, you need to go to college. When I just came here, my sister wanted me to go to college and everything like that. But I always say at the end of the day, I'm the one that's going through it. I'm the one that has to do all the work. When I reach at the finish line, you're going to cheer for me. Okay, kudos to that. Thank you for that. But I'm the one that has to go through it, and I have to be ready. Like, you have to be ready. You have to be passionate about what you want to do so you can fulfill the goals that you have for yourself and not for somebody else. So I'm happy you actually find that, took that confidence and like, oh no, I made that decision.
I think a lot of people just get worried about the money, but the truth is that if you just pursue what makes you happy, God will help you find a way through it.
You always find a way, and that is so true. So to close out, I have to ask you, what's the importance of self-awareness to you currently right now during your journey?
Oh my gosh, self-awareness is so important to me. I feel like a lot of the problems in the world come from people just wandering through life without actually being aware of what they're doing, how they're doing it, what they're saying, and how they're saying it. So I treat people the way that I want to be treated because, like I told you before, I was a really bad kid. I got into a lot of trouble. So now being a self-aware adult, I don't want to return back to any of that negativity or that trouble. I want to breathe out positivity into the world. So I'm always trying to remain aware of the good things that I do. You know, as far as something like holding open a door for someone, volunteering, donating to charity. I try to breathe good into the world.
I love that. So how can listener apply your insight to their life?
I think you need to...
Especially someone that's struggling with ADHD.
I think you need to... It requires a lot of self-reflection, which is a word called introspection. It's just looking within, which can happen through meditating, which you can do with art, you can do with music, just self-reflecting and being honest with yourself. So many people make so many excuses and they aren't honest with themselves. If you look at yourself with an unbiased eye and reflect on every aspect of your life, I think you can realize that you have so much more potential than you think you have, and you can do more. We can always do more.
Love that. So what's one advice that you have for someone that's struggling with finding their lane?
I would say to talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. You can't just isolate yourself from the world. Go out and meet people and recognize the needs of other people and your needs in relation to those people, and just, try to become a better person.
Love that. So do you have any quote that keep you focused?
Quotes that keep me focused.
Yes.
So I actually have a favorite quote from a Shakespeare novel, and it states, "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy." And it basically reminds me that I have to remember to think outside the box.
Yes.
Because my perspective is just one perspective, and there are so many more things in the world. There's so many more things to consider than just the things that are going on in my head.
I love that. That's such an amazing quote, because sometimes we live in our head so much and then we let fear and procrastination win. And to me, those are the two dream killers. Those are the things that spoil dream, kills us, make us feel lack of confidence within ourselves because of that fear in not thinking that we're good enough, or we want to achieve something, or we have a goal and we're thinking, oh, no, this is not good, or anything like that. Same thing when I'm my podcast currently. Before I start, I was like, stay in your lane. What does this mean? I'm like, I don't think nobody would want me to interview them. I have a vision and a mission that I want for it to be a movement and everything like that. But I'm like, I don't think it's going to be good, or I think it's going to be that. But that's that fear. And even currently right now with me not sharing it on my social media, it's that fear of feeling that I'm going to be judged. Because my first 2 episodes, I've never opened up like that to no one. And I talk about a lot of struggles, my upbringing and every single thing. And I feel like sharing that with especially my social media crowd that doesn't know me, it's like, I'm opening up the bottle for judging. But then that's something that's in my head, right? I never know. I may inspire somebody with what I'm doing.
Sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith. You have to rip off the Band-Aid, listen to Nike, and just do it.
And just do it. I love it. As I always say, for real, start unknown, finish unforgettable. And as usual, see the kingdom, and everything that we wish for will be granted to us. So let's actually focus on what we need to get done. Put ourselves first in knowing that self-care, self-awareness is the way to go. And once you stay in your lane and not get caught up in somebody else's traffic, you will always have that tunnel vision in your goals and what you need to achieve. So any final word or any question that you have for me before we go today?
I just want to wish everyone a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Me and Samantha going to the club tonight, so we gonna get down. Don't honk at me. Don't honk at me, baby. We gonna have some fun.
Don't be spilling the beans. But no, this episode will be coming. It's recorded on Halloween, but it will be coming out after. It'll be coming out next week. But I just want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you again, Ivy, for actually coming here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So sweet. Thank you for actually sitting down with me finally and talking. Sharing your story, your testimony, your insight, being so vulnerable, being so open of things that you may not share with others. So I really appreciate that. For my listeners out there, as usual, please love yourself. Whatever you have to achieve, it's 60 more days. Today's the last day of October. Tomorrow is the 1st of November. Put those action into plan, get those goals done. It's not late to actually finish what you started. It's not. And then if you have to get up again and restart, you're still breathing. So there's always hope. Go out and get it. And actually remember, seek the Lord first because he will guide you. For now, start unknown, finish unforgettable. Ready? Set. Goals. What we said, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, baby. Stay in your lane. Don't get caught up in somebody else's traffic. No. Let's get this degree. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
This has been a production of the Essex County College Podcast Club. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved.